Hey, hey, hey. All right, we're going to see how this goes. I have no hardwire connection. I could not find my cord, so we are going to see how stable this is. But welcome if you're watching the replay. My name is Tatiana. I'm the owner of the Stationary Muse, and I'm so excited to chat with you guys today about this topic. I'm actually going live on a couple of different platforms, so if you see me looking in different directions, that's why. I'm live on Instagram as well as YouTube and the Facebook group. So a little bit of everywhere to make sure I can catch as many people as possible on this Wednesday afternoon. Hello, everybody that's getting on Instagram. How are you guys doing? How's your week so far? We're halfway through. How's it going so far, y'all? Hey, Planner Craving, how are you? I've been watching your YouTube videos, girl. Keep going. But yeah, I definitely am just like ready for this launch. That has been like the main focus for me, is just getting ready for the launch. But I wanted to just kind of connect with everybody because it's been so long. So I'm just excited to be getting back into this. So I really appreciate all of you guys tuning in. Hello. Okay, we see. How's everybody's week going? As you guys are getting on YouTube and Facebook, let me know, how is your week going so far? We're halfway through. Great to see you as well, Jacqueline. Thank you for joining in. I'm glad you're liking the snippets. Okay, going good. You've been watching me. Oh, yes, I've been watching you, girl. I love trying to support people that are doing similar things to me, because I know how it can be. So yes, definitely. But yeah, so I wanted to just chat with you guys a little bit about just kind of a topic that was placed on my heart. And so at the beginning of the year, I actually had set up to do this theme, and the theme was all about what I called CEO. And CEO basically meant, it was actually like kind of an acronym. So courageous, empowered, overflowing was the acronym. And so CEO was kind of like the theme for the Stationary Muse for this year, even though the Stationary Muse shop has probably been closed for a portion of this year. That's kind of what I've been living by. And it was something I talked about, and I went live about it and all of those things. And so for the second half of this year, with the shop getting ready to reopen and kind of just getting into just the next, what I feel like is the next phase of this business, I really wanted to kind of kick it off with a new theme in a sense. And so if you have ever seen, I have a planner, it's called the Live, Love, Inspire Business Planner. And the most popular selling cover of that planner was the Busy Building My Empire cover. And that phrase means so much to me. And so I really thought like, oh my gosh, it'll be so cool to do that as the theme for the rest of this year. Just not only just for me and my business and my life, but also for you guys, and just the ways that you'll see it reflected through my content and stuff like that. But basically, when I say busy building my empire, it doesn't necessarily just mean starting a business. It really is about creating a life that you absolutely love, a life that you are excited to get up for in the morning, and one that brings you a ton of value. It brings you a ton of happiness. And that is really what it's all about. It's all about just how can I get the most out of this current season that I'm in? And that is what the whole just empire is about. And so I created a quick little acronym that I want to go over with you guys to just kind of share. But I'm curious just to know from anyone that is watching right now, and hello to those of you that are tuning in on the Facebook group and on YouTube. Let me know, how is your week going so far? We're just chatting a little bit. And then at the end, I'll definitely be sharing a couple of just some products and things that are going to be coming out, because the shop is relaunching on Friday. So I'm really excited about it. But I want to know, you guys that are watching, kind of tell me a little bit about when I say, building your empire. What do you just kind of initially think? Or even if I'm telling you it's necessarily creating a life that you love, what does that mean for you when you think of like, okay, my life, what is the ultimate thing that I would want to see? What would be my perfect empire in a sense? I would love to hear in the comments, just what does that mean to you guys? Because for me, it really, I feel like when I was younger, I think I thought that like having this amazing life, or, creating a life of happiness really meant a lot more so with like money, and tying it to success in that way. And fame was really big. If you know my story, then I wanted to be a performer and sing. That was what I thought I would be doing. And so for me, fame was a huge part of me building an empire. I'm like, okay, I need to be famous in order to be happy. I need to have a lot of money in order to be happy. And so for a long time, that was what I thought building my empire was. But what I've really realized as I've gotten a lot older, and now that I'm like in my 30s now, y'all, and got my gray hair coming in, I'm just like, that's a whole nother topic for another day with this gray hair. If anyone has any tips on how to hide this gray hair, please let me know. Okay, please let me know. But I really just want to know from you guys, like, what is your version of just like the perfect life for you right now? Like, if you could have everything that you wanted, what does it look like for you? And so me, just kind of now in my 30s and where I'm at now, 5 years into this business, being a mom, being a wife, and just living, I think for me, it's definitely more so about being present with my family. It's about creating a life, really more so a life that I know that my next generation is going to love. Not necessarily so much for me, but that I know my next generation is going to be happy, whether that's my daughter, if we have other kids down the line, if she has kids, or whatever the case might be. I want them to be set up. I want them to be successful. And so I really think about that all the time, of just different ways that I know that I can do as much work now, so that they don't have to do as much, or, so that they can be happier. And I think also just in general, it's just family. I think that's really the two things for me. It's just really setting up the next generation for success, and family. Being present with my family, letting my family know I love them, let them know I care for them, trying to be a good wife when I can, trying to be a great mom when I can, a good daughter, a friend, and all of those things. And I mean, it's definitely a struggle. It's not like anyone is perfect, but that is my version of what my perfect empire would look like. So let me read some of the comments. So, hey, Lisa Marie, she said, freedom to design my life on my terms. I love that. And I think, you know what? I'm going to actually add that as my third one. I would love something similar to that. I really would love to live a life where I'm not being dictated by what other people want me to do, by what other people are telling me to do, based on, like she's saying, like on their terms. I want it to be my choice and my decision. And that's something that I'm learning. I get this pull all the time. It's like, it's great. I'm blessed and grateful, to work 9 to 5 and all those things. But that's definitely something that I would love to just kind of grow from. That's a positive way to say it. Okay, so let me see. So we have must take. Oh, you want to take your daughter to work, but hopefully, you have to take your daughter to work. Okay, yeah, the replay will be available. Yes, gray hair is taking over. Girl, yes, it's crazy. Okay, so when I hear building an empire, I think when I leave this earth, what stays behind to speak for me, my value here on earth. Thank you, Sabrina. Yeah, I really like that. And I think that that's really important too, is like, what legacy are you going to leave when you are no longer here? That's really important. And that's something that I even ask, and this is kind of a little bit separate, but I also do business coaching as another business as well. And that's something that I'll sometimes ask some of my clients when they're kind of getting in their head a little bit of like, oh my gosh, I don't know what to talk about. I don't know what to post. I don't know if I'm doing the right thing. It's just thinking about like, okay, what do you want to be known for? If you, like I always tell them, do this fly on the wall exercise. It's like, if you weren't in the room, but you could kind of hear what people were saying about you or about your business, what would you want to hear? And so that's a great example of that. Like, what is the legacy that you're leaving behind? Okay, so Tamira got the plans. Hey, girl, she said being present with the father and family, children, and husband. Definitely. Wait for the daylight said faith, family, learning, and business. Love it. Love it so much. Hello. Thank you for joining in. Yes, you guys have some really good ones so far. And I think that we all kind of have very similar values. And I'm seeing family a lot. So I think that we've, if not before, I mean, maybe last year taught some of us, but even still, family is just really important. And so I definitely 100% agree with that. And so I wanted to give you guys this quick little acronym on exactly what it is to build an empire from the standpoint of the Stationary Muse view of what that means, and kind of some things that you'll see over the next couple of months as I'm just rolling out this theme for you guys. It's all about motivating you and inspiring you to just get out of your own way, to, stop making excuses and really start going for those things that you want, no matter what that is. And so Empire, I have my little acronym. And so it's broken up. The first one being the E. The first E is to establish what you want the most. And so I kind of asked you guys at the beginning, what do you really see as your empire? What would be the perfect life for you? So what do you want the most out of life? And feel free to comment and answer in the comments as well. But what do you want most out of life? What is something that will make you the happiest? And even if it's not family, think about yourself as well, because of course you want to be happy. But what do you want the most out of life? When you think of okay, I'm at my happiest moment, this is what it would be. For me, I know if outside of what I kind of mentioned to you guys already, I think something that I really also want the most out of life is I just want to be happy. I want to have peace. I think that is a word that I'm learning most of all. There's so much stuff going on in this world right now. And I'm just trying to seek peace in whatever way I can and just continuing to pray and just find peace. And that is just what right now, what I really want most is to have peace. Tamara said, when I speak on being present with the Father, I reference, oh Lord, our Lord and Savior. Definitely. Okay. Yes, I definitely understand what you mean now. Yes. And I'm the same way too. And I know not everyone is super religious, or even if you are, but whatever it may be for you, I really think it's just important to have something that you can look towards, just as a way for you to get out of your own head. We can only do so much. We're only human. And so really just figuring out how you can find ways to just de-stress and to get out of the what's going to happen next, and just kind of let something else or someone, as in God for me, to just kind of take that over. And that's what really brings me that peace in my life. And so that is the first E, is to establish what you want most. And then M is to move away from the negativity. So I know for me growing up, I really struggled with negativity. I used to be a very negative person. And, comment if you guys can agree, if you've ever been like this, where you just found, I know for me, anytime I would look at a situation, and I was always the glass half empty person. So anytime something would be presented to me, I would literally be like, oh, okay, well, it's probably not going to work out anyway, or whatever the case is. And that's why it took me so long to start this business, because I was looking at the glass half empty and thinking I don't have any experience doing the stationery business. Yeah, I plan and stuff like that, but I don't know what I'm doing. And so really moving away from the things that make you negative. And this might be people in your life. This may be mindsets that you have, whatever patterns or things that you notice about yourself. I know a lot of women that I've spoken with just over the last couple of years have just always said that they typically are in their own way. Sometimes it really doesn't have anything to do with anyone else. It's ourselves. And I know for me, even leading up to this launch and relaunching, I wanted to push the date back again, because I kept getting in my own way, and I just always making an excuse, or always trying to think of, oh, well, no one's probably going to be interested in things like that. And so it's really important to identify that you're being negative and to change the thought, and to start figuring out ways that you can work on that over and over again. And it's definitely something that is a constant battle that I work on. Maybe none of you guys have ever experienced that at all. It doesn't seem like no one's commenting, so I'm assuming none of you guys get in your own way or stop yourself from doing anything. But I am here to say that that is me all the time. And so it's something that I'm constantly working on. And so some ways to move away from negativity, journaling is something that I'm really trying to get into. I keep saying it and then I never take the action. And that's another really big problem, is just that we'll say we're going to do things, but we don't. So starting to take the action on some of that stuff, how can you move away from that? If you can get into therapy. That's something that I love to do as well. Just having someone else speak life into you, speak life into your situation, that's looking at it from the outside in, that has your best interest in mind. Let me stress that, not just anyone, someone that may not understand what you're dealing with. They may be a hater, or they may not necessarily know exactly how to give you what you need. And I've learned that as well. But just moving away from negativity. So negative people, negative mindsets, negative thought patterns. Okay, so we see I am currently in my own way. Okay, well, share with me what's going on. What are you in your own way from doing? Okay, Jess said, yep, all the time. Yeah. Started watching at the perfect time. Hashtag getting in my own way. I've been working on getting out of my own way. Definitely. Okay, so you guys definitely understand what I mean. It's one of those things where it's just sometimes you don't even realize you're doing it, because I know for me, I shut the shop down a little bit after we moved in. And I really was thinking like, okay, a lot of it really had to do with the fact that I moved. And for anyone that didn't know, me and my family, we moved. We've been here in New Mexico for almost 4 years. It'll be 4 years in October. And we had been living in the same house since we got here, but we actually bought a house and we moved in May. So I kind of shut it down for that, just to kind of get settled and, to get things going after that. And it took me a while to actually set a date for when the shop was reopening. And I had to really sit down with myself. It was like a couple weeks that went by because I knew I wanted to open it back up this summer. And I was just like, why are you not setting a date? And then I started to really dig deep, and I started to think about all of the things that I had planned to do and that were coming up for the shop. And I started to kind of talk myself out of it. I'm like, you got a lot going on right now. I'm here with my daughter. I'm like, she's kind of, she's growing up. She's starting to need a lot more attention. And you're talking about you want to do these planners? You're talking about you're getting ready to reopen the shop and, you have all these things going. And you start kind of getting in your head. So really, I had to sit down and literally be like, okay, look, girl, we don't have time for all this. We're wasting time right now. There's people out there that may need to hear these messages and get these products and things like that. Let's get to work. And so that was kind of the talk that I had to have with myself, but I do that all of the time. Lisa Marie said, working on it by doing it and cutting. Exactly. So yeah, exactly like I said. And that's what it comes down to, because some people will ask me like, well, how do you do it? You just have to do it. And I know that it sounds a lot easier said than done, but you really just have to do it. You have to, because that's the only way you're going to learn from your mistakes. I was talking to a client earlier, and I don't remember what we were talking about, but I know my response. And I was saying that sometimes you just have to do it. And even if nobody purchases, or even if nobody does whatever it is that you want them to do, maybe it's not a business, but if something doesn't happen, if you don't reach your goal, if you don't stick to the routine you were setting for yourself, or whatever the case is, you just keep going. You learn from the mistake and you try again. And that's something that I tell my daughter all the time. These are things that we learned when we were younger, and sometimes we get away from them because we just get so in our heads. We think so much about what we didn't do in the past, and that's what stops us from moving forward. But life is too short to allow those things to stop us. I suffer from imposter syndrome. Yeah, imposter syndrome is definitely one of those things that, and I don't know exactly what you're doing, but I think what I've learned about imposter syndrome is that we have so many different pieces and parts to our stories and different things like that. And so typically there's got to be something from the past that makes you feel that way. I know for me, just if we're going to get really deep for a second, my dad was always around, but he wasn't emotionally around, if that makes any sense. And so for a really long time, I felt like I wasn't enough. And that was something that I had to really work through, even in therapy and just being a grown woman and realizing like, okay, that was that experience. And it doesn't mean you have to carry it out and walk it out in every relationship you have moving forward. Like for me, like even with being a wife, I would always question like, oh, am I doing enough? And things like that. And it all really leads back to just feeling like an imposter, feeling like I'm not qualified. And the thing is, you are qualified. God placed you exactly where you're supposed to be. God gives you the thoughts that you have for a reason, because he's qualifying you. He knows that you can do it. And so it's really just a matter of you stepping up to the plate and really taking the assignment that's been given to you. So you're already qualified. You're already an expert in all of the unknown pieces and things that you don't know. They will all come as you start to get into it. You will get every step of the way as you go. And I can 100% attest to this from somebody who has constantly felt like it's imposter syndrome and felt like she didn't know what she was doing. It's so much in the journey of when you finally start to put yourself out there. That's really when you get the answers you're looking for. But let me get back into the acronym. So we had E was to establish what you want most. M is to move away from negativity. P is to plan to succeed. So once you start to move away from the negative mindsets and things like that, it's really time to sit down and create a plan. Your plan can really be like something, and it depends. It's different for everybody. So it's depending on like what exactly your goal is, and planning out how you're going to do that daily, how you're going to do that every week, how you're going to do that every month, and what are the things you're going to do each year. It's really about creating a plan. And that's what's the whole point of the planner community and the Stationary Muse, is that not only do I want to motivate you and encourage you, that's great. And it's nice to see those amazing quotes. And it's nice to, hear the affirmation and somebody telling you, you can do this and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, it has to be turned into something tangible. It has to be turned into some actual actions that are going to happen in order for any of that stuff to really make sense. And so I'm really trying to take it for you guys beyond just the encouragement all the time, because even though that's great, it doesn't really get anyone anywhere. Some people, they hear a message and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, that's amazing. I'm ready to go. But then other people, it's like they really need ways to be accountable in order to actually do the things that they want to do. And even though you have it in your heart to do it, there's a lot of things that hold us back. And so with creating a plan, I always do this a lot of different ways, and I do it differently for different parts of my life. So even within my personal life, just to share, I always share about what I do for business, but like for my personal life, that is where I actually struggle with planning a lot. Like I'm really good about planning for my business, but personal things, stuff that I want to do for myself, being active, home projects that I want to do, meal planning, y'all, I'm absolutely terrible at meal planning. If anybody else is like that with meal planning, like I literally hate planning out meals. I hate grocery shopping. Like that whole thing is just, if you guys have any recommendations for a resource or something for how to meal plan, that would be great. That is like probably one of the worst planning things that I do. But the best thing that I will say, even on my good weeks when I do meal plan, is always when I sit down and I set myself up for success. So when I say the P is plan to succeed, it's really thinking about like, how can you set yourself up for success? So whether you are a weekly planner or a monthly planner, really getting that time on your calendar to where you're like, okay, from this hour on this day, I'm going to sit down and I'm going to figure out exactly what I'm doing for the next whatever you insert the time frame here for yourself. I know for me, I really have to sit down and do that, because it's just like, even with, like if you are a person likes to post on social media and you're trying to grow a business or something like that, you can think all day of ideas of things you want to post and talk about. But if you don't actually set aside the time to do those things, it's just going to continue to be ideas. And so you really have to think, okay, how can I set aside some actual time to plan these things out so that they can happen? And so that's how you're going to plan to succeed. And then the I is to inspire others. Y'all know I had to throw the word inspire in there. Let me read. Pleading Mom said, I'm learning to love meal planning. Yes, meal planning is just not my thing, but I hope that you learn to love it as well. Lisa Marie said, I'm not a meal planner at all. Yeah, I don't know, y'all. Like I see some people do it and it seems like it's so effortless for them and they seem so stress-free. But when I sit down to do it, like it stresses me out, because I'm just like, okay, what do these folks want to eat? And, I asked my husband, I'm like, okay, what do you have a taste for? Well, I don't know. My daughter, she always says the same two things. She usually either wants pizza or she wants chicken. We can't eat pizza and chicken every day. So it's just like, and then, I'm okay with not eating meat, so I could just do that, but my husband wants meat. So it's like, it's a whole thing. Okay. So I'm sure you guys can relate. I know you guys have families and stuff as well. It looks like nobody on here really meal plans all like that. So I'm glad that I'm amongst some people that understand what I'm saying. But yeah, so the I is to inspire others / invite others. So again, just to kind of recap, we're doing the, as people are coming in and out, we are doing an acronym for what building your empire means. It's the new theme that's going to be happening here at the Stationary Muse for just the second half of the year. So far, we've had E is to establish what you want most. M is to move away from the negativity. P is to plan to succeed. And then I is to inspire others. And all this one really means is that once you start kind of getting a plan in place and you're starting to do things, it's really time to get a community amongst yourself. I'm really big on surrounding yourself with like-minded people. And that really helps to keep you encouraged when you know that there are people that resonate with you and they understand exactly what you're going through. And so whether that is your friendship circle you have right now, or if that's like going out and seeking people that understand you, it's really important, especially when you're going through different seasons. Like I know as I'm creating my empire for myself, a lot of the things that maybe I thought when I was younger, or even certain people that I wanted to be around and things like that, it's just not the same anymore. I have different interests. And so I'm learning that I have to kind of shift my focus a little bit to really make sure that I'm resonating with what I want to see my life be, that I'm watching things that is an example of what I want my life to be. So really taking that and then inspiring other people through your journey is basically what it means, and inviting other people to be a part of it that understand. So that's what the I is. Hey, Apollonia. Tanez, I hope I'm saying that right. She said, my kids have food allergies. Hey, from Jamaica. That's so cool. Hey, is anybody else from out of the US? I always think that's really cool when someone is tuning in. Yeah, so the food allergy thing, that's interesting. And we're all over the place, y'all. We having a conversation about meal planning, which absolutely most of us seems like nobody likes meal planning on here. I hate it. And then we're also doing our acronym. But as far as allergies, so I actually have 2 food allergies. I have a wheat allergy and a soy allergy, which I'm actually going to try to see if I can get some more information on this from a different opinion. But yeah, so I definitely know what you mean about the allergies, because then it just becomes a whole thing even more. And I remember I had to sit down with my husband and I was like, okay, look, I'm not about to be making 2 different meals because I'm the main one cooking. So I'm like, if we gonna have gluten-free pasta, we just gonna have gluten-free pasta, so that can kind of get to be very limiting as well. So I definitely understand. Meal planning is a love-hate relationship. Oh my gosh. Yeah. I'm trying, I was just telling my husband last night, I'm like, I just want to apologize to you. I was like, I'm just not I don't even know what the right word is, but I'm not as domesticated, I think is the right word, as I thought. Like, I want to be like this freaking bomb business owner, mom, wife, making lunches, having meal planned out for the month, and, all these things. In reality, I'm literally like, okay, I don't even know what we're having for breakfast. I got to do this thing. Like, it's crazy. Hey, from Australia. Oh my gosh, that's so cool. Hello. Thank you for joining. And that's just the honest truth. I like to keep it real with you guys. I am definitely a person that is trying to learn how to navigate through all of these things as well. And so I love to share that because it's just the honest truth. But at the end of the day, we get it done. And that's all that really matters. So yeah, exactly. You can't do it all. And I've just accepted that. But I just think it's so, oh wait, did I pin a comment or something? I have no idea what I just did. But oh, you can okay, y'all, I'm crazy. I'm on StreamYard streaming on YouTube and Facebook. I never knew that you could pin a comment till just now. So excuse me while I'm figuring out the technology. Okay. All right, back on track. So the R of Empire is to remember the why. And this is really a big one for me. My why is very important for many reasons. It's important in my personal life. It's important within the Stationary Muse because it's really what keeps me going. So whatever your why is, it should really be something that no matter what, even on when you are dog tired or, when you are just fed up and done with it, that you still want to move forward and you still want to do this thing for yourself. And so even for me, I need to get back into working out. I was doing really well for a while before we moved, and then it has been a struggle to get back into it. But my why for that is really because whenever I'm not working out and active, typically I'm just a lot more tired. I have a lot more, I feel health issues going on. I deal with something called costochondritis. And when I'm working out and really paying attention to my body, I feel a lot better, which then makes me better for my daughter during the day. And so my why for that is just to be a present mom for my daughter, which is extremely important to me. She is my world. So that is my why. And even just her alone is my why, even for my businesses to a certain extent, because at the beginning of this, I asked, and if you guys, some of the new people that might be on, the question I asked at the beginning of this is, if you had the perfect life, when you think about building your empire, meaning the perfect life that you have for yourself, what are some things that would mean for you? And a lot of people mention family. What is the perfect life for you when you envision it for yourself as we are building our empires together? And so she is 100% part of that, because I was saying, I want to make my generations, I want to set my generations up for success. So that's really important to me. It's really important to me within my journey and just within my story, what I share with you all. It's really important. So really, what is your why? What is the thing that keeps you going no matter what? You guys are definitely a why for me as well. I cannot tell you how many times I have wanted to, give up for different reasons. And then I'll receive a message. Like when I used to do my subscription box, which, just to answer this question, people keep asking, is the box coming back? There will no longer be a subscription, at least as of right now, with it just being me. You know, if I ever get like a team, like I would love to do, maybe it'll come back. But as of right now, we're going to just do boxes sporadically as kind of more like a surprise, but no specific subscription. But what I was saying is, when I used to do the subscription box, I would get these random messages because I used to do a themed box. And the theme would just be just kind of maybe something I was dealing with within a certain season. And it would have just different affirmations and quotes and things like that. And every now and then I would get a message from one of the subscribers of the box, and it would be something like, wow, you don't understand how much I really needed this right now. This was, like I was at my breaking point. Thank you so much for sending this. This was exactly what I needed just to motivate me. And it's not like I'm over here changing lives or anything, but just to hear something as small as that and to realize that I'm helping people in my small way is enough for me to keep going. So really identifying what is the why behind the things that you're doing in your life is important, because it's really easy for us to give up if we're just kind of just leaving it open-ended to just like, oh, I'm just doing it just cause. Like there needs to be a reason for it, and that always helps you to stay on top of things. Okay, wait, Apollonius. Oh wait, before I read hers, I'm still trying to figure out how to work Adobe InDesign. Yes, Adobe InDesign is definitely one of my favorite programs. If you don't know, I'm an Adobe girl all day. But yeah, Adobe can definitely have its challenges for sure. Highly suggest just, finding like either a tutorial or something, or even a class on like Skillshare or Udemy is where I learned. I think it's best to just get like a 101 with any type of technology really, but especially with Adobe programs. Because once you kind of have that basic down, the basic knowledge of just what does what, it's a lot easier for you to navigate through there. Okay, so same girl, currently switching the focus to rebuild routines for the family so I can have self-care time because these kids have been plotting against me lately. Oh my gosh, y'all, I feel like Emery's the same way. Just like right now, I'm watching her on her monitor. On the days when I know that I need to go live, or not even go live, but just the days when I know that I have like a list of stuff I want to get done during her nap time, she never naps. So it becomes quiet time. Or it becomes our like separate time where she kind of goes in her room for a little bit. She does her thing and I do my thing. But I don't know if you're a mom, maybe you can relate to this, or maybe I'm just crazy. But even though she's in her room, but she's up and making noise, it's like I can't concentrate as much as when I know she's napping and sound asleep. So I don't know if anyone understands that at all. But anyway, so she's in there like laughing and singing, and I'm just like, can you lay down, please? So I definitely know what you mean. It's like she senses when I'm ready to be productive. And she's like, oh, I'll just stay up then. You are changing lives though. Oh, thank you so much. I'm trying. I really am. I appreciate that. I'm trying to get better at speaking up in the comments. I truly appreciate how transparent and inspiring you are. Thank you so much, Trinisha. And I understand, honestly, when I get on people's lives, I really don't say a whole lot myself. Like I usually am just kind of a person that watches too. Like what you guys may or may not know about me is I'm actually an introvert. Like I really don't talk a lot. Like like if you meet me in person, I'm really quiet and to myself, not rude or anything, but like I'm just to myself. And so I'm the same way. If I'm on someone's live, they probably won't even know I'm on there, honestly. So you are completely fine. But I'm really happy that you're enjoying it. And I love that you're here. Just wait till you have more. Yeah, girl, Apollonia, that's another discussion. If is probably the word, if, right? If we have more. But okay, so the last part of the acronym is to elevate your expectations. And basically, this just means to challenge yourself a little bit. So, instead of playing it safe all of the time, really think about ways that you can continue moving forward with progress. So a great example of this, and like I said, the Stationary Muse, this movement, this business is so much more than just about starting a business. And I think for a while, I mentioned this in my last live, for a while, I think there was a little bit of like a cross between where it probably felt like, oh my gosh, well, if I'm not starting a business, maybe I can't resonate. But no, it's really just about identifying whatever it is that you're trying to do in life and ways that you can do that. And a lot of the new products and stuff will show you that it's not all just about business. But what basically I'm saying is you want to elevate your expectations of yourself. So if you are trying to get more active or more fit, which is something that I use as an example a lot because I keep trying to speak it because I'm trying to do it for myself. my expectation of myself is like, oh, okay, maybe I'll work out like a couple times a week, like once or twice a week. That's really not that good. Like, I mean, that's nice to have a goal of some sort, but to challenge myself, I'd be like, okay, no, I'm going to work out 4 or 5 times this week. I'm going to put it on my calendar. I'm going to set an alarm to remind me about it. That's really challenging myself. And then maybe even like, okay, if I don't do it today, then I won't get opportunity to do X, Y, Z. So, really challenging yourself and treating yourself when you accomplish certain things, celebrating the wins. That's something that one of my business coaches, she'll always ask me. She'll be like, it'll be something where I'm just like, oh, I did this. I'm, like, that's cool. I wanted to let you know, like, I did this. I was proud of myself. And she's like, okay, well, how are you celebrating? So really start thinking about like, how can you celebrate yourself instead of just, giving yourself a quick pat on the back, like really taking a moment, take yourself out to dinner, get yourself something nice, take a moment of quiet for yourself, relax, whatever you like to do that's a treat for yourself, do that to just kind of build yourself up and keep going as you are building this empire, which is the whole thing that we are talking about. So let me see. Same here. You inspired me to start my journal business. Oh, okay. Tell me, what is the name of your business so I can follow, Tanez? I'm really happy to hear that. That makes me so, y'all don't understand. Like every time somebody says it, I literally want to like start crying, but I'm not going to. Okay. Becca said, your videos have inspired me to take the leap and start a new life, finally start my business beyond a dream to do one day. Thank you. You are very welcome. I'm going to move away from the comments because nobody else say anything about what they've been doing. Okay. I'm glad that I've helped you, but I don't want to start crying on here. Okay. So to recap our acronym, you want to establish what you want most. You want to move away from the negativity. You want to plan to succeed. You want to inspire others. You want to remember the why, and then you want to elevate your expectations. So that is the acronym for Empire. I'm going to be talking all about it again over here on the Stationary Muse, and just kind of reminding you guys like, hey, don't forget to be working on that empire. Don't just go through life every day. Sometimes I sit down and I'm like, wow, we really do the same thing every day. But when you think about it, try to think outside of just the routine of things and just the things that you have to do. You have to show up for work, you have to be a mom, you got to cook dinner, whatever the case is. Like, try to think of ways that you can take that and you can turn it into something so much bigger that will make you happier and that will make you more fulfilled. That is what building your empire is about. It's really about going outside of just what is the mundane, boring things that we do and thinking bigger than that of how you can set yourself up, your next generation up for success. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share with you guys. Pleading Mom said, yes, you've taught me so much. I'm so happy to hear that. All of you guys that are saying that, I just want to say thank you for just watching. You guys are supporting my dream as well, to be able to do this. So I really appreciate everyone that tunes into these videos, that watches my YouTube videos. I changed my channel name a couple weeks back and I was like really scared because I didn't know if people were going to still watch because I changed the name. But I just really appreciate all of you as well. So as you're saying, I'm encouraging you and helping you, you are also helping me to fulfill the things that I want to do too. So the last thing I want to ask is if any of you guys are comfortable, definitely share with me, as I've been kind of talking about this whole empire thing, what are some big goals that you would like to achieve? We have about 6 months left in this year. I think the halfway point was last week. So what would you like to achieve? You have another half of this year left, and not necessarily saying like you'll complete it by the end of the year, but that you're working towards something. Like, I know for me, one thing I would love to be debt free. Am I going to be debt free by December? No, but I can start taking action to get there. So, what is the big goal that you really want to do? And what does that empire look like for you? So feel free to share. I would love to read a couple of them. If not, no worries. And then I wanted to just give a couple of quick shop updates. And hello to all of you guys that are hopping on. A couple of quick shop updates, and then I'm going to go because it starts to be a lot with all this talking, y'all. Like, I take in so much air when I talk, and so then by the time I get off of here, I'm like gasping for air. But anyway, I wanted to share. So I actually did a reel earlier on Instagram, and I showed one of the new products. Hey, Planner Swag Boutique. One of the new products is some sticky notes. So I've never actually had sticky notes in the shop for sale. I've had them in like boxes and stuff before, but I've never had them in the shop just to purchase. So I have this really cute ombre set I'm going to show you guys, and I'm going to read a couple of the comments about our empires that we're building. Okay, let me see. Where is a set? And if you aren't familiar with Bun Girl is on there, you guys. She's not going anywhere. But this is the set. So it's the ombre set. So the first one is basically just like a plain white one, but there's like little bun girls at the bottom. And I'm trying to make sure you guys can see it on each platform here. So that's the first one. And then the second one is kind of like she's on the side. And this is a mint color. It's not really picking up. I have a filter on Instagram, so it's definitely not picking up the right color on there, but it's kind of bright on Facebook and YouTube, but you guys can kind of get a feel for it. And then teal, and it says all the things. And then I also have it in an orange set as well. Orange coral kind of set. Do I even have all of them on here? Let's see. Okay, yeah. And so then I have the three of them. So kind of the same thing. We got Bun Girl, but this time she's kind of in a coral. And if you didn't see, I decided, like, I kept kind of fighting it because I rebranded, and I decided to add coral as one of the colors. And I don't know, I really love coral. It's beautiful and it makes me happy. And when you really get into like color theory and what like just the orange family and coral means, it just speaks this business. And so I was like, I'm going to do it. So that's part of the color palette now, which I really love. So we have Bun Girl on there, and then we have her with the kind of the side profile, and then all the things. So this is going to be in a set of 3 that you can get together, and all the stuff will be available on Friday. But I want to read a couple of the comments from you guys. Thank you guys for the hearts and the love. I'm glad you guys like it. This is one of my favorite things that I designed. I have a couple more things, but I'm really excited about the sticky notes. There's going to be way more coming just because I had so much fun making them. Okay, so Tamara said, playing off some of the smaller credit cards. Okay, I can 100% resonate with that. And I saw someone said, Tanez said to buy a home. So to speak to both of these, just to give you both some encouragement in that area. So I actually have a video on my YouTube channel where I talked a little bit about it's called Tatiana Muse now. I changed the name, but we built a house and we moved in May, and I shared a lot more about it in that video. But what I will say is, for me, I never thought that I would be buying a house. And I'm just going to keep it real because I have a lot of student loans, lots of credit card debt. Well, actually not lots of credit card debt. I have like 1 or 2 credit cards, but more so student loans, and just my credit score is not the best. And then my husband is kind of like, it was really the same for him. And so we really did not think that was ever in the cards. And it was just so strange because last year, he just really kept like going to all of these different developments and these home builders and things like that and inquiring. And I'm like, why are you even wasting your time? Why are you wasting their time? Long story short, it ended up working out. So just stay faithful in that. And it seems like a very big goal, at least for me. Buying a home seemed like a very big goal, and one that I'm like, okay, it would just be really not happening. But I'm really just sending you a lot of positivity in that, because I know how that can be. So just sending you a lot of positivity. It definitely will happen for you. You are definitely going to pay off your small credit card debt. It's definitely possible. The amount of debt we were able to pay down to get into the house was just, God really provides. I'll just say that. So both of you guys, you're definitely going to accomplish those goals for sure. Yay, we love Bun Girl. I'm so glad you love Bun Girl. Let me see. To make a profit every month. Okay, yes, definitely do it. And if you're talking about for your business, one thing I would say, just as a tip, if you have a business and your goal is to make profit for your business every month, make sure you're showing up all the time, reminding people about your business, but also giving them value. Like how we are here on this live right now. I mean, I'm sharing some products with you guys as well, but really I'm just on here to kind of encourage you guys and motivate you. And so figure out ways that you can use your platform, your business to motivate others, and to really encourage them in whatever season it is. And that all goes back to, who is your target audience and what are the pain points and things that you can kind of help them with. But that's really what has helped me to grow my business. Is to just connect and care, honestly. So that would be my tip for just having profit every month. I have a small goal In 30 days, I'll launch my website. But do you think it's a good idea to have a long-term goal for your business, like 2, 5, 7 years, even, or are those crazy huge? Okay, so I think definitely with business, I think it's important to have both. I think you definitely want to have big goals, things you want to do. Like I have a really big goal of one day I want to be able to move into like a warehouse and have a team and be in retail. Like those are like bigger goals that I know are going to be some years from now. But then a smaller goal is like, for example, I know that I'm getting ready to open my shop back up on Friday and I want to sell so many of these sticky notes, or I want to do different things like that. So I think it's really important to have both because you want to have things to work towards in the future, but you really also want to kind of remember where you're at right now so that you don't get so lost in the weeds of trying to get to that bigger goal that you overwhelm yourself so much. So a little bit of both, I think is really important. Okay, personal, reduce debt, purchase a new home, business, website launch, get in my own way. Love the sticky notes. Thank you. I'm glad you love the sticky notes. So kind of the same thing I was saying about the home and the debt. It'll definitely happen. Like we have debt and stuff that we're trying to pay off as well. And I'm going to be honest, like when I see, y'all tell me this, I'm just being real with you guys. Like when I see people post on like Facebook and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I'm debt free. And they're like my age or younger. I'm literally like, I'm not going to say I'm hating, but I'm just like, okay, I need to be you. Like, I really need to be you. So I think the biggest thing is just to, stick to your plan, have one, and just try to stay diligent with it as much as possible. And as far as the website launch, just do it. Just know the website does not have to be 100% perfect. As long as it reflects how you want people to feel with your brand when you get on there, you can always make changes later. So don't let any perfection, not saying that's the case with you, but just don't let any perfection stop you from putting your product out there. And make sure that even before you're launching the website, make sure, sorry, Instagram, my battery's getting low. Before you even are launching the website and stuff, make sure that you are connecting with your audience as well and getting them excited about it. Okay, let's see. You are truly a blessing to us who are trying to start a business. Oh, Roberta, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for all of the vibes you're sending us and every post and video you share with us. You are so welcome. It's so cool that you were tuning in from Australia. So I appreciate that. It's totally the case. Thank you. Yes, Trinisha. Yeah. So definitely I would just say, I know it's easier said than done, but this just goes with anything. What I've learned in business is that nothing is ever going to be perfect. Oh, thank you, OL Austin. Okay, yeah, make sure y'all give the video a thumbs up. I forgot about that. Thumbs it up, share with friends and all that stuff. But yeah, don't let perfection get in the way because nothing is ever going to be perfect. You're always going to want to make changes. This is my third time I have changed my logo of my business since starting. Not to say that I hated what I had at first, but I just put something out there. So I didn't want my logo to stop me. And so there's always going to be things that are constantly changing. You're always going to grow. So don't ever allow the perfection to be the reason you don't start. Just don't ever do that. Let me see. Okay, I'm 44 and we just bought our first home. Congratulations. I don't know if you're still on. I'm a little late getting over here, but congratulations to you. That is so exciting. It's really exciting when you buy a house, but it is a lot when you realize like, oh, we just bought a house. So it's like a little bit of both. We definitely just recently had a couple of things that happened to us within like the first month or two of being here where I'm like, oh, we're homeowners now. Like we got to figure this stuff out. So yeah, but congratulations to you. That's really exciting. Okay, so let me see. I'm gonna show you guys a couple more products and then I'm gonna let you go. I can't believe we've been on here almost an hour. So I showed this as well, but this is going to be the social media planning pad. I actually had a request for this from a number of people, not like anything crazy, but it was enough to where I'm like, oh, I should make one. And I kind of wanted one as well. So I did it colorful so that you don't feel like you have to have stickers or like a whole bunch of stuff. It's just like a really pretty colorful pad. And on the front, it just says getting social. And so again, this is for just anyone, even if you don't have a business, but if you're trying to grow a brand, if you're just trying to grow social media following, it'll really be helpful for you. On the front, it's got a section for ideas. And then it's got a little to-do list over here and then some stats. So you could track things if you wanted to for the week, or maybe if you have a goal you want to hit for a specific platform. And then down at the bottom, I love to plan my social media with themes. It's just really helpful for me. So that's why I have the little theme and focus down at the bottom, if you guys can see it. And I think, is the camera back? I always feel like the camera is backwards on Instagram. I'm pretty sure it is. And then it's a back side as well. And on the back, this is where you can actually plan out the schedule. So once you kind of figure out what you want to talk about, then this is the days. And then there's a little notes section. So if you want to just kind of jot down what worked or what didn't work or whatever. So it's just a really simple kind of to the point type of thing. This was similar to kind of how I did the launch pad as well. So more pads like this will be coming, but I really like these and I think that they're great. And what's really nice about it that I love, I don't think I ever shared this, which is kind of interesting, but if you have the Live, Love, Inspire business planner, I got these made to be the same size as the page. So if you wanted to like attach it with some washi tape or something, you can. It's the exact same size. So you could take like a piece of washi tape and you could fold it inward into the planner if you wanted to. So yeah, I don't think I ever shared that. I'm meant to. I'm like, oh, that would be so cool. And I don't think I ever said that till just now. But yeah, so you can definitely do that. And then I have another pad. I haven't even shared it yet. Let me see. Oh, it is backwards. Yeah. So I apologize, you guys. There'll be, of course, you'll be able to see all the pictures and stuff as well for the products. I just started my YouTube channel last year in December 2020. You have been a great inspirational person. Well, that's amazing, Sharon. And kudos to you for starting the channel, because I know a lot of people that say like, oh my gosh, I want to start, and then they don't. So that's amazing that you did. And I hope that it grows beyond, you know, whatever you're imagining it will. So this is the other notepad that I have as well. This is a letter size, and this is a daily pad. So Bun Girl is featured on this one. And basically it's got like a little priority section. Priority section is weird trying to do this on two different things, but priority section here. And then it's got this little box. So what I like about planning, I like to have like room to spread out and grow and do different things. So this box is kind of for you to put whatever you want. I actually have some stickers in the shop that will fit right in here if you want something like that, but you could just use it as a place to just sketch something out, write out a quote or something that's inspiring you. And then down here, there's a little to-do list, and then there is a schedule. So it's just a really to the point kind of notepad, but again, something that I thought that would be nice to add to the shop. Hey, everybody that's getting on, I'm wrapping up and I will be saving this replay. I'm just showing some of the new products off, but yeah, there's lots of stuff. Stickers are going to be coming back, so they're not going anywhere. I have a love-hate relationship with them, but they'll be back. This is like a cute little set that I just have sitting here. These are like little mailers, which are really cute, but tons of color palettes and different things like that. I have a lot of social media and business icon stickers, but I also do have just some normal business or normal planner stickers as well, and kits and sticker books and stuff too. So all that stuff will be returning. And I think that's all I'm going to show for right now. So there will, if you are already following me on Instagram, you'll be seeing all of the rest of the sneak peeks and stuff. And the site will be launching, reopening or whatever you want to call it, on Friday at 12 Eastern time. So yeah, I'm excited. It's been a while. I think the shop has been closed for maybe like a month now, a month and a half. Okay, Tanez said, is Shogun a good website to use? So Shogun is an app that you add on to Shopify. And I love Shogun. I've been using it for pretty much since I've been on Shopify. So like the last 4 years. And yeah, I think it's great. It definitely is a paid app, but depending on what your goals are for your site and what you're trying to do, 100% it's a great website or a great app to use for Shopify. All right, so for all of you guys that kind of tuned in late, there was an acronym at the beginning of how to build your empire that I'll be kind of just doing that theme here on the Stationary Muse for the remainder of the year. So you'll see a ton of about it. But that's pretty much it. I'm going to go, y'all. I'm getting tired of talking at this point, but I appreciate everyone that got on with me. I'm so excited for the launch that's going to be taking place on Friday. And just excited for everyone and all of the things we've been talking about, all of the big goals we have, things we're working towards. I'm sending you all positivity and prayers and hoping that all is well with you. Just not even necessarily for the big goals, but just you in general, just you, your spirit and all of that. Hope you all are doing well. But yeah, so I'm going to go. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you guys next time. And that's it. Bye.